I used to think I had to say the perfect line to get her attention. That maybe if I just complimented her right or sounded smooth enough, she'd feel something real. But I was wrong. What actually changed everything for me wasn't cleverness. It was presence. It was learning how to speak from a place of calm, grounded self-respect. When I started saying the right words at the right moments, not to impress her but to reflect something true, something deep, her entire energy shifted. She leaned in. She listened closer. She remembered me long after the conversation ended. These phrases I'm about to share with you aren't tricks. They're tools. Tools I use because they work. And if you use them with the right tone, with the right presence, you won't have to chase anyone ever again. Before we begin, hit subscribe. Like this video. That one small action helps more men find this message. Men like me. Men like you. Let's begin. I remember the first time I looked a woman in the eyes and said, "You have a unique way about you, I like that." It wasn't scripted, it wasn't rehearsed, it came from a real moment, and the way she responded told me everything I needed to know. Her eyes didn't just light up, they softened, like someone had finally noticed a part of her that the world kept overlooking. Most men throw compliments at women like pebbles hoping one will stick. "You're beautiful, you look great, I love your dress," but they miss the mark because they speak to the surface, not the soul. Women hear that all day long, and while it feels good for a second, it doesn't leave an impact. What leaves an impact is something that feels personal, specific, intentional. When I say you have a unique way about you, I like that, I'm not pointing out something obvious, I'm making her feel like someone finally sees her essence. That subtle difference is everything. It triggers a kind of quiet emotional curiosity in her. She begins to wonder what I saw, what I noticed, what made me say that. And in that wondering, she becomes engaged, not just with me, but with herself. She starts playing back the last few minutes, remembering her laugh, the way she talked about her childhood, the way she lit up when she spoke about her work or her art, and suddenly, I'm not just some guy she met, I'm someone who noticed what no one else did. That phrase is powerful because it's not a conclusion, it's an open loop. It makes her lean in emotionally, not because I'm charming, but because I'm paying attention. And that kind of attention is rare. I only say it when I mean it, and I say it like I just realized something valuable. No performance, no delivery tricks, just calm, grounded presence. That's the energy that gives the words weight. When a woman feels emotionally recognized, she responds in ways that can't be faked. She relaxes, she reveals, she starts unfolding. Because for once, she feels like she doesn't have to perform. And in that space, something deeper happens. She begins to see herself the way I just reflected her. And that kind of validation, not for her looks but for her essence, that stays. That makes her think about you when she's alone. Not because you chased her, but because you saw her. And being seen, truly seen, is something no woman can resist. There was a moment once where she asked me what kind of women I liked, and I didn't flinch or stumble around like I used to. I looked at her and said, "I like women who know what they want." I watched her reaction closely, not because I needed her to approve of me, but because I wanted to see if she understood what I meant. That line is not just a compliment, it's a standard. It's a filter. It changes the energy in the room. Most men, when they meet a woman they're drawn to, they immediately start trying to win her over. They lean in too much, smile too quickly, agree too easily, hoping their approval will buy attention. But it never works that way. That energy becomes predictable, and predictability kills intrigue. When I say I like women who know what they want, I shift the frame. Suddenly, she's not the prize I'm chasing. I am the one making a choice too. It makes her wonder if she fits the picture I've painted in my mind. It plants a question in her thoughts that doesn't go away. And it's not about dominance or control, it's about alignment. It's about clarity. Because when you meet a woman who moves with purpose, speaks with direction, carries herself with conviction, it's magnetic. And when you speak your standards with calm honesty, she feels that. She senses your frame. She starts qualifying herself in her mind, not because you're better than her, but because you're showing her you have values, that you're not here to be chosen by default. I've said that line in moments where she spoke boldly about her future, where she made decisions without second-guessing, where she revealed that she had done the work to know who she was. And each time, I said it slowly, not as a flirt, but as an observation. I like women who know what they want. Then I let the silence do the rest. I didn't explain it. I didn't soften it. I let her feel the weight of what it meant. Because if I said it, I meant it. And the truth is, if you say that line and then start chasing someone who clearly doesn't meet that standard, your words collapse. But if you stay grounded in it, if your actions match the message, it becomes unforgettable. You stop being just another man she meets. You become the one who doesn't need her to fit into his life, but invites her to meet him where he already stands. That's when the dynamic shifts, not with games, but with strength. Not with noise, but with presence. There's something powerful about being the man who notices what others miss. When I tell a woman, that's what I like most about you, I am not just giving her a compliment. I am placing a mirror in front of her that reflects something she rarely gets to see. Most guys throw out praise like candy, sweet but empty. They comment on her looks, her outfit, her smile, thinking that's enough to stand out. But surface compliments fade, and they never touch the part of her that actually craves connection. When I look at her and say, that passion you showed when you talked about your dreams, that right there, that's what I like most about you, I'm not flattering her. I'm recognizing her essence. I'm letting her know that I see past the surface, into the part of her that matters. It's not about being poetic. It's about being present. I watch the way her eyes light up when she talks about helping others, or how her voice shifts when she speaks about what scares her or moves her. And then, in that moment, I slow down. I take my time. I make sure she hears it clearly, not just through words but through energy. That's what I like most about you. And then I let it sit. I let the silence wrap around those words. That pause, that stillness, carries more emotional weight than any long speech. Because now she's wondering why I saw that, how I saw that, and it makes her feel emotionally understood in a way she's not used to. That emotional understanding is rare. And when you give a woman that feeling, not just of being seen but of being understood for who she really is, she doesn't forget it. She carries that moment with her. She starts to associate you with a space where she feels safe to reveal her deeper layers. It creates a connection that has nothing to do with lust or charm and everything to do with emotional resonance. I've said that line when she helped someone quietly, when she stood firm on something that mattered to her, when she got vulnerable and didn't apologize for it. Those moments are sacred. And when you point them out, when you show her that you noticed, she starts opening doors inside her soul that most people never get close to. You go from being someone she talks to someone she remembers. Not because you said the perfect words, but because you held up a mirror that showed her who she really is, and how deeply you were paying attention. That is unforgettable. There is a moment in every conversation when the energy shifts. It happens when I lean back slightly, smile with quiet confidence, and say, I don't know if you can handle me. I am not being arrogant. I am not trying to sound difficult. What I am doing is introducing the idea that I am not here to be predictable. I am not here to be easy. Most men, the moment they feel even a hint of attraction from a woman, drop their guard. They become agreeable, open, accessible in every way, hoping she will approve of them. But I have learned that when everything is revealed too soon, there is no mystery left to explore. And when there is no mystery, there is no pull. Attraction begins with curiosity. So when I say that line, I am inviting her into a space where she doesn't know everything about me. She begins to wonder, what is it about him that might be too much for me? Is it his ambition, his emotional depth, his standards, his unpredictability. That wonder turns into tension, and if I carry it with the right energy, it becomes powerful. The key is in how I say it. Not like I am testing her, but like I am revealing a truth about myself. I am not for everyone. Not every woman will know how to read me, and I am okay with that. In fact, I welcome it. Because when someone wants to understand you, they invest in you. I have said this when a woman thought she had me figured out, when she joked about being hard to impress, when she tried to playfully dominate the conversation. I let her take that space, then gently shift the dynamic. I make her pause. I let the silence hang there just long enough to let her feel it. And suddenly, she is the one leaning in. She is the one asking questions, paying closer attention, because I did not fold. But none of this works unless I live it. If I say that I am not easy to handle, then I have to act like it. That means I do not over-explain myself. I do not seek constant reassurance. I do not lower my standards just to be liked. I hold my ground with calm certainty. And when I do, something changes. She feels it. She feels the gravity of a man who is comfortable with his own complexity. Who does not hand himself over without thought. Who values connection, but does not chase it. That is where the shift happens. She starts stepping into my world, not because I forced it, but because the tension I created made her want to see what lies beneath the surface. And that kind of pull is unforgettable. There is a quiet power in saying, I am not that easy. Not as a defense, not as a tactic, but as a truth I carry in every interaction. When I say those words, I am not being cold or difficult. I am simply setting the tone that my presence, my time, and my attention are not given away for free. Most men crumble the moment they receive a little attention from a woman. One smile and they start chasing, eager to please, hoping that they can somehow prove they are worthy. But when I calmly say I am not that easy, I shift the balance. I let her know that interest alone is not enough. I have standards. I have a rhythm, and I do not rush just because someone is curious. This phrase carries weight not because of the words, but because of the mindset behind it. I do not say it to be clever. I say it because I live it. If a woman teases me, tests me, or flirts with confidence, I do not immediately react with laughter or approval. I hold my ground. I meet her gaze. I smile slowly, and with the kind of calm energy that only comes from inner clarity, I say it. I am not that easy. Then I let the silence do the rest. In that moment, she begins to question. Not in a panicked way, but in a curious one. She starts wondering, did he really just resist me? Is he serious? What does it take to get his attention? That kind of emotional tension is the beginning of something real. It signals that I am not like the others. That I do not move at the pace of desperation. That I am not here to perform, impress, or convince. I am here to connect, and only when it is real. Women notice that. They feel it in the way I do not chase, in the way I remain steady, in the way I smile but do not fold. The truth is, most people expect others to be easy to win over. But I have learned that the most magnetic men are the ones who carry themselves with quiet standards. Who can be warm without being wide open? Who can be kind without giving themselves away? Saying I am not that easy is not about pushing someone away. It is about inviting the right kind of effort. It is about creating a space where both people rise to the moment. Where she wants to step forward, not because she was flattered, but because she was challenged. And when she leans in with sincerity, when she shows something real, I meet her there. Because the only thing more powerful than mystery is mystery that unfolds into truth. That is what I stand for. That is why I say it. And that is why it works. I do not know if you can handle me. That is not a boast. It is not a taunt. It is a quiet truth I have come to understand about myself. I carry layers, intensity, ambition, a kind of emotional fire that most never expect. And when I say those words, I am not trying to be difficult. I am being honest. I have watched how most men present themselves like open books, trying to be easy to like, easy to figure out. They offer everything up front, hoping to be accepted. But I am not here to be accepted by everyone. I am here to be understood by someone who is ready. And so, when the moment is right, when a woman starts showing confidence, playfulness, maybe even a little boldness, I let the energy shift. I lean back slightly, I hold her gaze, and I say it with a calm that comes from knowing myself deeply. I do not know if you can handle me. Then I let the silence speak. In that pause, something happens. Her mind begins to move. What does he mean by that? Is it his drive, his standards, the way he moves through the world without needing to impress anyone? That curiosity is not manipulation. It is the spark of real attraction. Because attraction is not built on clarity alone. It is built on wonder. On the feeling that there is more to discover. And when she feels that, when she starts leaning in instead of pulling back, I know the line has done its work. But here is what matters most. I back it up. I live it. I do not crumble under pressure. I do not chase validation. I do not reveal everything in the first hour. I let my actions show her what I mean. I let her see the depth, the thoughtfulness, the chaos, the calm. All of it. Slowly. Authentically. Because that is the kind of energy that lasts. I am not looking for someone to be impressed by the phrase. I am looking for someone who is intrigued enough to explore it. Who sees the edge, the mystery, and does not run from it. She does not have to handle all of me at once. She just has to show that she is willing to step into the unknown. To embrace something real. That is why I say it. Not to test her. Not to play games. But to set the tone. To say without saying, this is not going to be like anything you have known before. And if she feels that, if she accepts that challenge, then we are already somewhere most people never reach. That is the energy I bring. That is the truth behind the words. I do not know if you can handle me. But if you can, you will never forget me. I am not that easy. It might sound playful, but every time I say those words, I mean them with everything I have lived. I have learned through heartbreak and through silence that giving yourself away too quickly does not make you loved, it makes you forgotten. Most men, the moment a woman smiles at them or shows a little interest, they melt. They chase, they compliment, they hand over their time and energy without even asking if she earned it. And in doing so, they teach her that she does not have to give anything back. But I am not that man. I do not unfold myself for anyone who simply knocks. I need more than beauty. I need more than charm. I need presence, effort, truth. So when I say I am not that easy, I am not teasing. I am standing tall in what I know I deserve. And when a woman hears that, truly hears it, something shifts. She stops assuming she can coast. She starts wondering what kind of man says that and means it. She leans in not because I am playing hard to get, but because she can feel that I am not playing at all. I am simply not desperate. And that difference is everything. It is the difference between being wanted for a moment and being remembered for a lifetime. I use this phrase when the moment feels light, but my message carries weight. Maybe she tries to tease me, test me, flirt in a way that expects me to chase. That is when I let the calm in my voice speak for me. I smile gently, lock eyes, and I say, I am not that easy. Then I say nothing more. No over-explaining, no softening the edges. I let her sit with it. And in that silence, her mind starts moving. Did I just resist her? Did I just say no with a smile? That emotional tension, that quiet resistance, creates a space where respect can grow. Not because I am being cold, but because I have standards. I value my time, my attention, my energy. I do not give it away like confetti. I give it like gold, slow and deliberate, to those who earn it. And that does something to her. It pulls her in. Because suddenly, she feels she is not just interacting with a man, she is interacting with a boundary, a presence, a force. She starts wondering how to reach deeper into that presence, how to show me more of who she is so I might let her in a little further. That is not a trick. That is magnetism born of truth. I am not here to be chased or to chase. I am here to be met. And I will not lower that standard for anyone, because once you start valuing yourself this way, you never go back. I am not that easy, and that is exactly why I am unforgettable. When you master these 6 phrases, something powerful happens. Conversations shift. Energy changes. You are no longer the one chasing, hoping, trying to be noticed. You become the man who stands still while the world leans in. You speak from a place so grounded, so rare, that every word feels like it carries weight. I have seen it again and again. The way a woman's eyes soften when she hears something that touches her core. The way her body shifts slightly forward, unconsciously pulled by something she does not fully understand. Because it is not just the words. It is the energy behind them. You are not throwing compliments like confetti. You are not using charm as a weapon. You are speaking truth. From presence. From clarity. From a place that says I know who I am and I do not need to perform for anyone. That is the shift. When you stop trying to be liked and start living from your truth, women notice. Not because you are louder, but because you are deeper. You create emotional gravity. And that is what stays. You are not relying on pickup lines or surface-level tactics. You are reaching beneath all that. Into something that feels timeless. Something that feels like it was always there but rarely spoken out loud. These phrases are not just about attraction. They are about identity. About standing in who you are without flinching. About being the kind of man who speaks few words but makes everyone count. I remember the first time I used one of these lines with absolute presence. I did not rush it. I did not follow it up with nervous laughter or try to fix the silence that followed. I just let it land. And I watched her eyes shift, her guard drop, her heart lean in. That is when I understood. Real power is not loud. It is calm. It is rooted. It does not beg for attention. It commands it by existing. And from that moment on, I knew I never had to chase again. Because when you show up like this, they chase the feeling you give them. A feeling of being seen, respected, challenged, awakened. That is what real attraction is. Not tricks. Not manipulation. But presence. Energy. Truth. If you have made it this far, if this message speaks to something inside you, then lean in. Do not just memorize these phrases. Become the man who can deliver them without a script. Live the standard. Hold the frame. Speak from the fire inside you. Because that is what they are truly drawn to. Not the words, but the soul behind them. And when you live from that place, you do not just get attention. You change lives, including your own. If this helped you even a little, I want to say something that comes straight from the heart. I do not make this kind of content to impress anyone. I make it to remind you of the power you already have. Power to speak with presence. Power to connect with depth. Power to stop chasing and start standing tall in who you are. If that message matters to you, if you felt something shift while listening to this, then do something simple but powerful. Subscribe to Stoic Legacy. Not for me, but for you. Because this is not just about learning lines or tricks. It is about rewiring how you see yourself. And if that journey feels right, then I am honored to be on it with you. Every time you support, this message reaches more men who need it. Men like us. So take a breath, stand a little taller, and know this. You are not here to beg for anyone's approval. You are here to build a legacy. One rooted in strength, truth, and presence. Stay stoic and build your stoic legacy.